Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're going to tackle something that a lot of people, even, seasoned English speakers sometimes trip up on, and that is articles. A, an, and the.
And I am so ready. What folks don't always realize is that getting those articles down is like this secret code to fluency, you know? It can really make your English sound so much more natural and smooth.
Yeah. It's not just about being correct grammatically. It's about how you sound. Like you really get it, So today, let's try to give our listener that extra confidence boost. How about that?
Confidence boost. I love it. Maybe a good place to start is a really common mistake, even for advanced English learners, using articles with uncountable nouns. I've seen it trip people up so many times.
For sure. I bet our listener knows exactly what you mean. It's like you want to say the information is important, but it's like the before information. Feels weird.
Exactly. And that's because information is what we call an abstract noun. We can't count it like we count, say, apples. So we just drop the article completely. Information is important. Advice is valuable. Like that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You're talking about the whole idea, not just one specific information.
Exactly. And see, this is what I mean about mastering articles. It's not just about memorizing the rules, but really getting the why behind them. Then it's way easier to just use them naturally.
It really is like some kind of code, huh? You get the key, then bam, whole new level.
Right. And speaking of keys, let's unlock this. The definite article, small but mighty, like a mental GPS for your listener, guiding them right to what you're talking about.
Ooh, I like that. Like instead of just the cat sat on the mat, which is what I was like, hey, listener, remember that cat, wonky tail and all. Yeah, that one's on that mat now.
Oh, got it. Instantly make sure everyone's on the same page, the speaker and listener. Think how powerful that is. Just by adding that one word, you're creating this connection, shared knowledge,
Total wavelength. Like you're both in on the secret. It's the cat and the mat that matter here.
Exactly.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to like the video. Share it with friends who might find it helpful. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments what topic you'd like to hear.
And that shared understanding is super important when you're talking about things that are unique, one of a kind. The sun, the moon, the internet. We've only got one of each, right?
Right. Stars galore, but only one sun keeps us warm. And speaking of unique, the source mentioned the with superlatives too. Did you find that interesting? Like she's the tallest person here, not just she's tallest. What'd you think of that?
Oh, absolutely. That goes back to being specific. Superlatives are all about picking one thing out, the most or least of something. So the just highlights that it's special, one of a kind.
Right. It's like, listen up, folks. We're talking the most impressive, the biggest, the best. Pay attention.
You got it. And this also ties into another interesting use of the with those plural proper nouns, things like the Philippines or the Netherlands. The is like built into the name itself again, that shared understanding.
It's like the is woven right in, telling everyone, this isn't just any group of islands, this is the Philippines. No mistaking it.
Exactly. It's those little things that make all the difference in sounding natural and confident in English.
It really makes you think, all this thought going into these tiny little words. That's what I love about these deep dives. You really uncover so much.
I agree. And speaking of uncovering things, let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about when we don't use the specifically with general plurals, we say cats are independent, not the cats are independent.
Oh yeah, good one. That's where adding the can actually make you sound, almost too proper. Like you're giving a lecture, not just chatting about cats.
That's a great way to put it. With general plurals, we're talking about all cats, not some specific cats, right? It's like, I love reading books versus I love reading the books on that shelf over there.
Right. One's like big picture book love. The other's very specific. And same idea with those uncountable nouns we were talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. The water is wet. Sounds so weird, right? We're talking about water in general, not like one specific cup.
Tapping into that essential waterness.
I like that waterness. Which brings us to something else interesting. No articles with abstract nouns. We kind of touched on this, but it's worth another look, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like life is full of surprises, not the life is full of surprises.
Right. Life, there is this big, broad concept, right? But here's what's cool. You can change the meaning by adding the, make it more specific. Like compare life is strange to the life of a butterfly is short.
Whoa, yeah. Suddenly we've gone from deep thoughts to like a nature documentary narration.
See, the power of articles. Tiny words, big impact on what you mean.
It's like having this whole set of tools for like linguistic precision or something. Of course, we gotta have some quirks, right? No language is
Well,
perfect.
tell me about it. English is famous for its exceptions, but hey, that's what keeps it interesting, right?
True. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, curveball.
Exactly. Don't let it get you down, though. Think of it like a challenge, a chance to really get to know English inside and out.
Like those bonus levels in a video game, right?
Yeah.
Tough, but that's where the real fun is.
There you go. And speaking of bonus levels, our listener sent in some things about those special cases with articles like musical instruments and nationalities.
Oh, right. Why is it she plays the piano, but he speaks Spanish? You don't say he speaks the Spanish.
Yeah.
Throws me off every time.
Right. And honestly, there's no simple answer. Sometimes it's just how we say it, you know? Idioms, they're called.
So more about tradition than like logic.
Yeah, pretty much. But even if there's no hard and fast rule, you can still see some patterns, right? With instruments, it's often the when you're talking about the action of playing.
Interesting. So she's playing the piano, that action, versus just he knows Spanish, a general skill.
Exactly. And with languages, we usually skip the because it's more about the ability to speak, not the language itself, you know, as a thing. Subtle, but it makes a difference.
It's like you're speaking fluently. It's like we're peeling back the layers, right? This language onion. So much most people don't even realize is there.
Love that analogy. The more you look, the more you're like, wow, English is deep.
Right. Makes it kind of feel small.
Oh.
But also, it's cool. We may not always know the why behind every rule, but we can still just tell what sounds right.
100%. And that's where paying attention to how native speakers do it is so helpful. Like, you just absorb it. The more you hear it, the more it makes sense.
Totally. Just like learning to surf, you
Yeah.
know, you can read all about it.
Yeah.
But nothing beats just being in the water and getting a feel for it.
That's it. And mastering these articles, it's like that. It's a journey. It never really ends. There's always something new to pick up on.
Which keeps it interesting, right? Always room to grow, always improving, like leveling up your language skills.
If you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to like the video. Share it with friends who might find it helpful. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments what topic you'd like to hear.
Exactly. So as we're wrapping up our deep dive here into the world of English articles, just remember this. Don't sweat the mistakes too much. It's okay to be unsure sometimes.
It's like those aha moments when you're figuring out a puzzle or something. The more you try, the better you get.
Right on. So next time you're reading or watching something, even just chatting with someone, pay attention to how they're using those articles. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Get curious.
Because once you start noticing those little words, man, they're everywhere. You can't unsee it. Like you've unlocked this new level of fluency. English will never sound the same.
Well said. I think we've given our listener a lot to think about today.
We definitely went deep today. Hope you're leaving with a whole new respect for articles, those mighty little words, and feeling ready to use them, make your own communication even better. Every conversation is a chance to practice right. Until next time, keep on learning.